Patrick John Fluger, who plays Adam Ruzek on Chicago PD, reveals new details about the upcoming One Chicago crossover event. Chicago PD is part of the One Chicago franchise, which also includes Chicago Fire and Chicago Med. Known for its compelling storylines and complex characters, One Chicago brings viewers into the heart of the city's emergency services, focusing on the personal and professional lives of its characters. Over the years, the One Chicago franchise has seen multiple crossovers that have brought together characters from all series. The latest crossover event will premiere on January 29. In a recent interview with TV Insider, Fluger provided further insight into the next One Chicago crossover's direction, stating that this event will be more grounded than previous crossovers. Rather than focusing solely on rescue sequences, the crossover will delve into the relationships between the characters, providing new perspectives on their personal connections. Check out his comments below. I can't tell you too much about exactly what everyone's up to. I will say that I think out of all the crossovers, this one maybe doesn't have as much smash bangs and booms, but it's incredibly grounded and character-driven. And I think if we're going to come back out of the gate with a 3-part crossover, we did pretty well this time as far as just leaning into the characters, leaning into the relationships, leaning into the fact that these people do work in a city where they bump into each other pretty consistently. They have very different jobs, but they all have a lot of respect for each other, and some of them even have a lot of care for each other. And so there's a lot of people on a first-name basis that you might not, as an audience member, think that's the relationship, but it is because they just work so closely together, so hand-in-hand so often, and I'm excited to reintroduce that into the world of the Chicago series with Kid, with Miranda, Ray Mayo's character, which I'll tell you, what was an absolute blast. Miranda and I have been quite close for a long time. We travel together, we're pals outside of everything. So getting to finally actually act with her, which I've never done before, and if we have, it's been with a lot of people around, so to do a little one-on-one with her was really fun. We had a good time, really supportive of each other, and I think we found things that weren't necessarily on the page, and we had a really good team that we worked with as far as the day players, and even the background folks that we were working with were incredible. So I'm excited for people to see it. People were acting their pants off from top to bottom. I mean, you're talking about the person the furthest in the background, these people were giving it. It was impressive. The latest crossover event marks a seminal moment for the franchise by bringing together characters from Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, and Chicago Med. The central event of the 3-part episode, a gas explosion trapping people inside a high-rise, sets a precedent for an intense, multi-layered crisis. However, Fluger's emphasis on the character-driven nature of the event suggests that the emotional stakes will be just as significant as the physical ones for the entourage of characters, offering a more intimate look at the relationships between the first responders. For Fluger's Adam Ruzek, a One Chicago crossover provides a new opportunity to interact more closely with Stella Kid, a character he has not shared extensive scenes with in the past. Their partnership seems to be a key element of the event, giving a chance to see new facets of both characters. A shift toward exploring established relationships across the series points toward the interconnectedness of the One Chicago universe, where characters from different departments are often in close contact due to the nature of their work. Over the past 5 years, One Chicago crossovers have featured other significant events, such as another 3-part episode in 2019 titled Infection, which featured a bioterror attack, and a 2017 episode titled Fake, where Chicago PD and Chicago Fire came together to fight a devastating warehouse fire. These plotlines have demonstrated the professional interdependence of the teams in Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Med. Our take on the upcoming One Chicago crossover. The crossover could provide new developments for characters. Patrick John Fluger as Adam Ruzek in Chicago PD. The character-driven focus of a new One Chicago crossover is an up-to-date and exciting approach for the universe. While previous crossovers have often leaned heavily on dramatic action, this event promises to offer a deeper, more emotional exploration of the One Chicago characters' relationships. Ruzek's scenes with Kid are particularly intriguing, as they offer a new dynamic between two characters who have a personal relationship outside the series. This thematic shift could provide a more impactful experience for viewers, displaying the heart of the One Chicago series.